Hi, boys and girls. This week's shared reading is another nonfiction text titled And So They Build by Bert Kitchen. A male satin bowerbird is looking for a mate, and so he builds. Satin bowerbirds live in the rainforests of eastern Australia. When the male is ready to attract a mate, he clears a site in dappled sunlight and shade on the forest floor. Then he builds a bower of sticks and decorates the ground with whatever bright objects he can find: parrot feathers, shells, flowers, fruits, leaves, and even scraps of cloth. Most of the objects are blue, and the bowerbird often paints the inside walls with the blue juice of berries too. He carpets the open end of his bower with twigs, making a stage on which he will perform his courtship dance. In his efforts to attract a female bowerbird, she'll enter the bower, and then later the two birds will desert the bower for a nest built by the female in a tree nearby. Cubiturm termites are in danger of getting drenched, and so they build. Cubiturm termites are often called white ants, but are actually more closely related to cockroaches. Some cubiturms living in parts of West Africa where there is heavy rainfall have developed an ingenious way of keeping their nests dry. The workers of a colony build one or more columns out of tiny pellets of soil cemented together with saliva. The building begins below ground and extends above to a height of around 18 inches. Inside is an intricate system of living chambers, brood cells, food storage areas, and vents for controlling the temperature. The final touch is exceptional. Each column is capped with an umbrella-shaped roof, which serves to divert torrential rain and protect the termites living below. A pregnant harvest mouse will soon have a baby, and so she builds. This tiny mouse is found in areas ranging from Britain to Japan. Before her babies are born, the female mouse weaves a nest around a group of upright, growing stalks in a cultivated field, using long leaves still attached to the plants to form the basic shape. She weaves the walls with blades of grass, which she first shreds lengthwise into manageable strands with her sharp teeth, and lines the nest with shorter shredded blades of grass and other soft plants. Warm, comfortable, and safely suspended above ground, growing higher and higher as the stalks to which it is attracted grow, this perfect nest for baby mice takes their mother just 5 to 10 hours to build. Swallows are ready to breed, and so they build. Swallows fly almost everywhere in the world apart from the Arctic and Antarctic, though they winter exclusively in the southern hemisphere. They normally build their nests on a sheltered ledge or beam, perhaps inside a barn. They begin by plastering mud from a nearby pond or stream onto the wall above the ledge, then build up their nest in semicircular layers of mud balls, adding grass and straw for extra strength. It may take as many as 1,000 mouthfuls of mud carried back by one to build a nest. Swallows often return to the same place each year, repairing their nests with fresh mud and straw. A paper wasp is about to start her colony, and so she builds. The paper wasp is found in North America, Europe, and North Africa. Before she lays her eggs, the female wasp uses her powerful jaws to scrape wood from any post, fence, or beam that she can find. She adds her saliva to the wood to create a unique paper mixture. Now she begins to build her nest, which hangs from a plant stem, stone, or board. It takes the form of a comb made up of hexagonal cells, in each of which she lays one egg, effectively gluing it to the base to keep it from falling out. The comb has no cover, but it is very well insulated. Inside their snug cells, the eggs will develop into larvae, and finally into adult wasps. A tailor bird will be safer if she hides her nest, and so she builds. The Tailor bird lives in southern China, India, and Southeast Asia, and the female usually nests in a garden or on cultivated land. She chooses one or two large living leaves on a tree and draws their edges together using her beak and feet. She makes small holes down the sides with her sharp point, and then she twists spiders' webs, bark, and plant fibers into threads and pushes them throughout the holes to hold the leaves together. Each stitch is fastened with a rough knot. Inside this leafy pocket, the tailor bird can build her nest of grasses, plant down, and fibers, safely camouflaged among the trees. Bowl and doily spiders need to trap their food, and so they build. The little bowl and doily spider is found in North America and has relatives known as sheetweb or hammock web spiders in many parts of the world. Its name derives from the fact that it spins two webs, the upper one shaped like a shallow bowl, the lower one like a flat doily. When an insect gets entangled in the bowl, the spider bites through the web from below, pulls the insect through, and wraps it up. The two webs, as well as being an effective food trap, help to protect the spiders, who often hang between the bowl and the doily. For a gladiator tree frog, it's spawning time, and so he builds. The gladiator tree frog comes from South America, spends most of the year up in trees, but moves down to the ground during spawning time. At the edge of a pond or slow-moving stream, the male frog builds a round enclosure out of clay, smoothing the walls with his spatula-like fingers. A few days later, when he's finished, he sits inside and calls out for a mate. He will drive away all males, but any female he attracts will inspect his enclosure before joining. Their tadpoles will be well protected from predators in their walled nursery. While they grow, water will be seeping in, raising the level inside until the time when they're ready to swim over the walls and out into the wider world. Beavers seek a safe home for their family, and so they build. Beavers live in North America, Europe, and Northern Asia and are famous for their building skills. They use sticks, stones, and roots to build a dam across a slow-moving stream or river, filling in the gaps with finer vegetation, reeds, and mud or clay to make it watertight. The structure may also be anchored downstream with tree trunks and boulders. The dam creates an artificial lake with which the beavers can build their lodge, a cone-shaped woodpile hollowed out to form a living chamber, with one or more underwater tunnels leading into it. The walls are lined with mud and the roof left more loosely built to let in air. A whole beaver family can live in the lodge, safely protected from predators.